And good morning to you on this Friday. We have telephonically DL with us this morning, and we're going to be on the air talking about a number of things. Basically, this storm, again, all of the warnings are out there, so I think we have to take it seriously. All of the tracking this thing in a whole lot of different ways. But thank you for joining us. 1600 AM, 99.7, the Widu Radio Network. Good morning, DL. How you doing, sir?
Hey, good morning. I'm having a little bit of technical difficulties for like a minute and a half, but I'll be good to go. But you're talking about this weather. This guy from Buffalo, diehard Bills fan, said, why y'all don't have this snow plowing equipment down here? I say, brother, we don't have enough snow to be investing in that type of equipment.
Exactly.
It would just be a waste. We don't, we'll keep the, we'll put the salt on the road, but we're not keeping what you guys have to keep up north.
Right. I mean, and I get that from some of my northern neighbors because this is a regular thing for them, and this is something like the storm that they're predicting that we're going to get. The last time we had something like that was the year 2000. That was 26 years ago. I mean,
Rick,
so,
I want to say 2008, 2009 winter season was, we got nice dump of snow. It wasn't as bad as 2000. Yeah, the 2000 was, you were correct about that. I remember 2000, but
it was nasty.
We had,
well,
yes.
Now,
No. 2000 was definitely more than 2009. We got decent amount of snow in 2009, but I remember 2000 because there was a lot of snow in Cumberland County then.
Right. And I'm saying, so but now this is what they're recommending. I've been following this thing. They say that they want you to have enough food in your house to last you for a week. Be prepared to be without power for at least 2 days, maybe more. And, and they got this whole thing is that if you're not going to be, if you're out of power and you can't go somewhere where somebody has power, where you got heat, then what you ought to do, get some sleeping bags. They said that works. And you have multiple members in your family. All y'all get in one room, and that way the body heat kind of does that. And then, of course, you have, I was telling Jay yesterday, they have some safe things. You can get them from Home Depot. There are the little small propane burners that are designed to be burned inside, not the other stuff. But these things are designed to be safe to burn inside. So you want a number of things there. And sure enough, they also say, if you got something in the refrigerator, don't be open the refrigerator. You know what I'm saying? So if you like our producer, Reverend Carl, here this morning, that every time he walks past the refrigerator deal, he say he's opening it up. I know some people like that. You know what I mean? That's just a habit. You know what I mean? Tape your refrigerator up or something so you don't do that, okay? Because you're gonna cause stuff in there to spoil. But if you avoid that, just don't do that. Gas up your cars. Charge everything up, and we're gonna be okay.
Yeah, I think so as well. But the biggest thing is definitely gassing up your car, and make sure you check on your elderly and folks who can't move around. That's the biggest thing. Make sure, because we have folks that stay by themselves, who are mobilely challenged. So we want to look out for them as well.
Right. But I'm not mobilely challenged, but I'm an elder. So, and all of us old folk, I'm coming back to your statement about my man getting up like he's an old man.
Well, he was. I forgot. Oh yeah, you talking about Phillip Rivers?
Yeah,
oh,
man. Look at brother. I was like, boy, if I could have got to you that day.
Man, he's like using both of his arms to get off the ground, whereas football players just pop up.
Well, stick around long enough, sir, and you may not be playing football, but you won't be just popping up. I tell you, tell him, Reb, it don't work like that, dude. You just don't be popping up. Even getting out of bed, you don't be popping up.
Yeah, I understand that.
Well, anyway, look, a lot of stuff going on this weekend outside of the weather stuff. Of course, people won't be able to watch this thing, the football games this weekend if the weather knocks all the power out. So that's going to be a dent in that. However, there's some other things going on in the world, particularly what happened last weekend at a church in Minneapolis, and now that has also resulted in some arrest on yesterday. This whole thing's going to play out, of course. However, we just really don't want that. We don't want people invading churches, trying to talk about the Constitution. That's secular. The church that's a whole new thing. We don't do that. I mean, now the guy that's over ICE was over ICE with multiple presidents. So it's not like this person is designed for this administration to do something negative toward them. But I guess, people believe what they want to believe.
Yeah, you can believe what you want to believe, and people come down on different sides of this issue. But church is off limits.
Yeah,
that has to be off limits because if you think about it, you think about what happened in Charleston back in 2015.
Right.
We don't want that.
Right. And the people that want to sign off on that, it doesn't even make sense to me. I mean, what would make you think that, okay, we have public officials throughout our community that attend church as well. So they don't like some public position that an official is taking, or they deem that person to be responsible for something, then they're going to invade their place of worship on a Sunday morning. Simply, we can't do that. And anybody that wants to sign off on that, I just don't understand how anybody can think that's okay. That can't be okay. Even Don Lemon, who was there, talked about that there were children crying, there were people afraid, and they were fearful. And the people that were there were just adamant that they were just there, and they got a right to do that simply because a member of ICE held some position of leadership inside that ministry. But again, those kinds of things to me are just totally out of bounds, and we can't be doing that.
Yeah, that is correct.
Right. So we're trekking down. You may have not seen this story, but I just saw this in the paper this morning. The county is going to allow the city to enforce the no camping on county property. So, we talk about library, courthouse, other DSS, health department. If people are camping out on those properties, which are actually owned by the county, but it happens to be inside of the city limits, they're allowing them to go after the unhoused in those areas. That might be controversial with some people. I don't know. However,
so you're saying the county is signed off on the city enforcing it, making an arrest and charging?
Yes, right, yes.
Well, listen, I can understand when folks go to the library and there's, regardless of what county property is, the county has a right, and I'm pretty sure the commissioner signed off on it. So basically what you do is that when you see somebody sleeping, you give them an option of moving on, Just treat them respectful because they're down and out, but you have to let them know we need you off the property because, first of all, some of them do relieve themselves, personal hygiene, and you just can't have it on county property. But you want to be sensitive to the item. You just don't want police going up, kicking stuff. You want to make sure you give that unhoused person an opportunity to move on and treat them with dignity and respect. That's all you can have. And it's going to work both ways because, you're going to get some pushback from some unhoused folks. But hopefully we don't see nothing that's just bad for our community.
Yeah. Well, and some of the advocates for the unhoused as well, again, but what happens is, though, if you're in business and the unhoused population is negatively affecting your business, you don't want that. I mean, like you have eateries on Hay Street downtown and other places, and you're sitting there because they have the ability to eat outside sometimes. You don't want to be sitting there in the middle of your meal and somebody walking up to you asking or sometimes demanding that you give them food when you're sitting there trying to enjoy your meal. That's simply not appropriate. It's not.
Yeah. So, I understand where they're coming from, but like I said, let's make sure folks are treated with dignity and respect, because some of them are down and out. And I understand both sides of it,
Right. Bouncing back to Chapel Hill, a topic that you want to talk about, what's going on with whether or not they're going to move out of the Dean Dome playing basketball and build another facility, and you had some opinions about that.
Well, here's my thing. We're trying to find out who's. Wait a minute. It says the chancellor seeks $8 million for Players Protect housing. What about basketball? So I just need to know who's down that's going to be on. If it's 75 Ram Club or private donors or whatever, and 25% from the taxpayers, I want you to go down to Greensboro, UNCG. I want you to go, because you got two campuses down there, A&T. You want to make sure all our other state schools facilities are up to par, because the Dean Dome suite seats about 20,000, and me and Jay talked about this. They should reduce, if they want to bring it up to modernization, reduce the seating capacity and put luxury seats in there. I went to a game at Clemson and NC State Tuesday night, and Little John Coliseum was built in '68, and they renovated that place. Looks pretty nice. But I just can't see the Dean Dome. It was built in '86, 20,000. I'm sorry, Duke's still got an old building, but they keep it because that's their choice. But I think we have other priorities, because we don't like it when the public has to finance stadiums for the NFL, these professional sports owners. So it should be the same thing somewhat for UNC basketball.
Yeah, well, people sometimes forget that although Duke is in the ACC, Duke University is a private university. I mean, it's not a member of the UNC system, So, how they do things is how they do things, but it's a private school. It's a private school.
Yeah, but you know how many people they could put in those seats if they expanded at least to 12 or 15? Virginia did it. I remember, because, man, I started watching ACC basketball. I can remember back in 77, 78, because, back in the day when you were in elementary school on up, fourth grade, first weekend in March,
yep.
You watch the ACC tournament in the afternoon. It don't matter if you can read or write. You're going to watch some basketball.
I remember those days being in high school, because when they used to do that, and I had a public job, I saved my annual leave, because I was off. I was going to be off on that Friday, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
I took that day off. I fully understand what you're saying. I fully understand what you're saying.
Yeah, because listen, man, tell you, the first time I went to Lilly Gymnasium was Halloween '88, and when they said this is their gym, I'm like, what in the world? And how Fayetteville State got their gymnasium. I didn't like how when you tell me the story on how they got Capel Arena, it's like they had to beg, borrow, and steal to get it.
That's true. I mean, I was around the General Assembly then, and I happen to know to be a fact that the Speaker of the House was Dan Blue. Dan Blue is African American, originally from Robeson County. And some people don't realize there's only been two African American speakers of houses since Reconstruction. That's Dan Blue in North Carolina and Willie Brown in California. But this is what they'll do sometimes. They'll wait around to about midnight, 1 o'clock in the morning, when a lot of the legislators decide to go home or go wherever they're going to go, and then they'll take a vote. That's how we got Capel Arena. I'm telling you, I know what I'm talking about. I was there. I recall that. That's how we got Capel Arena at Fayetteville State University.
Yeah. So, folks, if you go on campus one day, because you hear me talk about, I always reference Lilly Gymnasium, but I just want you to picture, watch it, remember the Titans. So just think about a gymnasium from the 1940s and 50s. Then you think about Lilly Gymnasium in 1988 until Capel Arena opened in 95, because I worked at graduation for Fayetteville State in 95. But, I'll say this about our UNC system. We've come a long way. I like what I see when I go to A&T, Salem State, Fayetteville State. I've never stepped foot on Elizabeth City State, so I've been to all of the campuses in the UNC system except for Elizabeth City State. So I don't know how it looks.
Right. Well, at the end of the day, the Legislative Black Caucus, they were raising a bunch of sand back in the 80s and the 90s because they passed a bill that gave members of the UNC system money all the time, out of every budget. Like we're talking about like Appalachian State, Western Carolina, all of those, and the HBCUs were not in the middle of that. And then remember when they passed this education bill, I forgot exactly when it was, but it was around the 99, 2000 era, somewhere in there. And, we're talking about billions of dollars. Now, understand, they gave Fayetteville State at that time, I'm pretty accurate with this, $40 million. Now, that sounds like a lot of money, but trust me, compared to the flagship schools, they gave NC State and Carolina $500 million. Okay.
Yeah, and we want to.
And so now, look, that $40 million was nothing compared. And see, those schools were so large. This what happened. Their student fees to live in the dorms was enough for them to be able to use to refurbish their dormitories, but. At the time, Fayetteville State maybe had 3,000 people that was there. It wasn't enough money to do anything with, really, and that money should have been distributed in a different way than it was at that time. I forget the lady's name, but the head of UNC system at that time, she was out of California, and she had $20 million walking money around. In her purse that she could just use. Not for herself, but I'm saying in a illegal way, but she could just use to do what she wanted to do. And that's half of what Fayetteville State was getting, and the HBCUs didn't get very much out of that.
I'm trying to think of her name, too. I want to say, was it Molly something?
Yes, you're right. I forget, right. It was Molly something. But anyway, right. So, it was incredible what they were doing. And but now look at Fayetteville State now. I'm telling you, man, Fayetteville State University, if you have not driven past it, drive past it now. It is, oh, man, it'll blow your mind how far they have come. And you got all these new buildings coming up on campus. And, it's like a renaissance, brother. It's a total new change.
Yeah, Molly, UNC Chancellor Molly Broad.
Molly Broad, that was her, right.
She died in 81, back in 2023. But, like you say, Fayetteville State now, you want to thank, of course, Commissioner Kirk Deviere and then Representative Elmer Floyd and Diane Wheatley. And it's other ones you can thank, too. So pat on the back for them because they were definitely looking out. But I tell you this, I know we're going to go to a break, so Representative Diane Wheatley, she co-sponsored House Bill 39, which we talked about yesterday about the waiving the vehicle tax for veterans. So we just got to find out how many vehicles, because I read the bill. It didn't deep dive and just said it waives the vehicle tax, but it didn't say how many vehicles. I imagine maybe one or two at the most. And so we need to find that out for those veterans, how many vehicles, because some of them have more than one.
Right. Well, look, we're going to go to a break here, and we'll be back. I need to get to this school for this last day of this stuff with these youngsters. So I'm gonna cut myself short a little bit today, so I can make it out to Bill Hefner for their last celebrations. I think they got the fifth graders today. We had first graders yesterday, but anyway, first graders and fourth graders. But just exciting times, really. And so we'll be right back. DL's on the line, Troy here, and producing Reverend Carl. We'll be back following this break.
With the threat of winter weather overspreading a vast majority of the state, Governor Josh Stein issued a state of emergency, and he discussed the situation at a Raleigh briefing on Thursday, noting the roads will become treacherous. Greg Fry is with the NCDOT out in Catawba County, and he tells WSOC in Charlotte the ice is definitely going to be a problem. AAA Carolina's Tiffany Wright reminds those of us who have electric vehicles to make sure they are charged in the event you lose power. Speaking of power, Duke Energy spokesman Jeff Brooks tells ABC 11 they are prepared. As the country gets ready to celebrate its 250th birthday, some of its most famous documents are going up for auction. The collection at Christie's in New York includes a rare 1776 printing of the Declaration of Independence. TikTok has finalized a deal to create a new American entity. Mike Rayleigh, NCN News.
I'm Jamie Monticelli, WIDU Radio News. The Cumberland County Sheriff's Sex Offender Registration Unit responded to a report on January 21st involving an individual allegedly exposing himself in the Judge E. Morris Braswell Cumberland County Courthouse. Detectives identified the offender as 27-year-old Jason Hammonds. Hammonds is a registered sex offender on the North Carolina Sex Offender and Public Protection Registry. He was apprehended and charged with indecent exposure by the Sheriff's Office SORU detectives on January 21st. Law enforcement agencies are joining efforts to address the growing concern of careless and reckless driving along the I-295 corridor. That is an issue that continues to put drivers' lives at risk. On Thursday, January 25th, 5 until 11:30 p.m., members of multiple law enforcement agencies teamed up to save lives. As a result of the initiative, 131 citations were issued that included 120 speeding violations, careless and reckless, and no operator's license. From
Good Friday morning. We start your day with cloudy skies and temperatures colder in the upper 30s with a brief shower possible. Some more brief showers are possible mainly before lunchtime today. We'll keep increased cloud cover. Highs will only reach the mid-40s to around 50 degrees this afternoon. Even colder overnight into Saturday morning with temperatures dropping to the upper 20s. Our chances for freezing rain and sleet start later in the day on Saturday. For the North Carolina News Network, I'm meteorologist Grant Skinner in the Weather Center.
Most people out here think that taking care of one another is important. And most people would step up for a neighbor going through a tough time. Most people around here help out friends and family when they need it. But the funny thing is, most of us won't look for help when we need it. If you're struggling with mental health, you should know that there are resources out there that can help. And it's okay to talk about it if you need to. One place to get started with information is loveyourmindtoday.org. Loveyourmindtoday.org offers a range of guides, instructions, and insights for dealing with difficult situations or getting through a tough time. If you're struggling with mental health, get the help you need, because most people out here really care. Visit loveyourmindtoday.org. That's loveyourmindtoday.org. Brought to you by the Huntsman Mental Health Institute and the Ad Council.
Residents of Cumberland County, did you know using a barrel to catch rainwater is one of the simplest, most cost-effective ways to conserve water? The Cumberland County Soil and Water Conservation District offers rain barrels that are inexpensive and easy to install. Harvest rainwater for lawn and garden watering, supplement irrigation, or reduce the amount of water settling around the foundation of your home. To learn more, call 910-437-1922 or visit CumberlandCountyNC.gov/soil and water.
If you pay your city or town for electricity, you live in a public power community. Public power communities provide electricity to families and businesses from a locally owned and operated system. Public power systems are not for profit and provide electricity at affordable rates with unbeaten reliability. Your local public power provider invests in your community, providing local jobs and supporting your local economy. Electricities of North Carolina is the energy behind public power. Learn more at
Temperatures will be cooler today thanks to the front that passed last night. It stalled to our south and east, bringing some brief showers mainly before lunchtime today. Then very cold this weekend with the ice storm starting later in the day on Saturday. We start your Friday with temperatures in the upper 30s with cloudy skies and some brief showers. Cloudy throughout much of the day with some brief showers possible. Highs reach the mid-40s to around 50. We drop to the upper 20s by Saturday morning. For the North Carolina News Network, I'm meteorologist Grant Skinner in the Weather Center.
And back here about 35 minutes after the hour, 25 minutes for the top of the hour here. I'm going to be leaving in about 10 minutes. Dale, I did think about one thing that's apparent with our schools, and that's something that all of North Carolina, probably all the whole nation is grappling with, is how we're going to get education back on track to the point that, number one, educating our children, their ability to read. We're falling behind the industrialized nations when it comes to that whole thing. I don't know about other people, but that ought to concern all of us. We talk about what children should be taught, but if they don't know how to read and write, it's a lost cause. And you have some experience yourself, having been in the classroom in the last couple of years with what you've seen.
Yeah, that's right. The irony that you bring that up, because when you told me you was going to Bill Hefner, I thought about when I was substituting the middle of last year and beginning of this year, but I'm going to take a break. So a colleague of mine, she's in Cumberland County, she talked me into thinking about doing substitute teaching. And it's funny, she doesn't want to deal with K through 5. She likes that. I guess middle and high school. I said, I don't want no part of it because that's when they start running their mouth. And I love the K through, yeah. Listen, I love the K through 5. And so here's my thing. They have to learn how to read. If they're not reading good at the second grade, it's going to be problems. That's what I've learned, because the teachers that I took for, what they would do sometimes, they would have me read, and some of the kids would love to volunteer. Hey, can I read? And I said, yeah, go ahead, because I didn't like reading. And some of the stories they put, the teachers would go ahead and do it on YouTube, and the children would just follow along. So the first thing is reading, and if they're not reading at the second grade, there's going to be a problem.
Yeah, they have a National Reading Day. I just look back on the Dr. Beckman's calendar, and of course they want volunteers to come out, and so I'm going to be there. I'm trying to encourage some other people to come, but Bill Hefner is a K-5, but this is what I like about the school. Now, it's just me. When you walk into the school, obviously these are professionals because they're all dressed like professionals. Now, I'm not trying to knock some other people's how they want to do their thing. But I go in schools, and some of them, bruh, I'm like, why is the teacher dressed like that? You know what I mean? I mean, it just, even for those little kids out there, because some of these teachers are pretty young, the little boys, they're looking at them a different kind of way. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I don't think that teachers need to come to the classroom like that. But, I know everybody got this whole thing now, you violate my rights, I can do what I want to do. But I'm just telling you, I do like Dr. Beckman's position. She likes for her education staff to look like professionals, and that's what they do. They look like professionals. And but now I've gone to some schools, and all of them are not the same.
Yeah, what you want as a superintendent, you don't want to do the job of your building principal, because building principals tell you, I work with them, they want to make site-based decisions. However, you should have that district policy, and you shouldn't be taken away from that district policy. And if you're going to add to it, you better make sure that you're not offending folks, or because I do agree with you, folks need to be focused. And some of the younger kids, younger teachers, they don't understand what they need to project. And that is a problem. But we definitely don't want to scare away our young folks. But I tell you, when it comes to school, first you definitely got to invest the money in the school, because you want these schools to be have the greatest technology, the update technology. That's why I can't wait, and I hope Cumberland County is doing this, because Pauline Jones has been shut down for years, T.C. Barron, and then what's the other one in the downtown neighborhood that was shut down? T.C. Barron, Pauline Jones. It's another elementary school that's closed. I can't think of it right now.
I can't think of it either.
Easily, it's older. I just think in that area where you have low-income families and limited transportation options, give us a state-of-the-art K-5 school, because a lot of those children are bused out to W.T. Brown. And nothing wrong with W.T. Brown, but I just think they they need, it ain't about being deserving. You have a need to have a state-of-the-art elementary school for that area.
Well, I remember when Pauline Jones, because I was invited over there quite a bit, say 20 years ago, when it was still a school. I'm telling you, give me facts. It started raining, and they were putting down trash cans to catch the rain coming through the roof. Now, I saw this on numerous of occasions, and I just don't believe that would have been happening anywhere else. And at that time, what used to be the old Grove View, now it's called Cross Creek Point, the youngsters were able to walk to school. They just walked over there. That's where the majority of the youngsters came from, was that public housing area over there. Now, I'm telling you, I'm not making this up. I'm in the media center, and I'm talking to kids, and it starts raining, and they know where to put the garbage pails down at, because they know where the leak is. And you can't tell me that if you drive up the street to some of these other schools that they were having those kind of challenges. Now, I think that they ought to be able to know how to fix a roof, you know what I mean, of a school. Yeah. But I'm telling you what I saw. Look, I witnessed it, bro.
Well, hey, Charles Evans, you had somebody from T.C. Barron, and, Dr. Whatever his name was at the time, I wasn't a big fan of his, and I'm glad Charles stepped up. Somebody had to contact Commissioner Evans at T.C. Barron about what was going on. And
it was about roaches in the school.
Yeah, Dr. Harrison. He had
right.
some disrespectful words for Charles, but I'm glad Charles stepped up for T.C. Barron when he did that time.
Yeah,
they deserve better.
Charles don't want to give me credit, but I saved Charles on that one. So what happened was, every inspection that you see on the walls got a number on it. You got a name, somebody signed off on it. And so you can go now to the health department website and look at restaurants and see what they got written up for. And that's, matter of fact, it's a recent restaurant that I don't attend anymore, because I walked in, I saw a B, and I went to the website and I saw what they had a B for. And I ain't down them, but I say I ain't going there no more. You know what I mean? And I love Sandy, and Sandy was we were talking about that, and I said, Sandy, look, you already dealing with some health issues. I'm telling you what was on the health department site, why they got to be. But what happened was the health inspector from the health department happened to be at the school when they were serving lunch, okay? And she was standing there in the kitchen area when a kid brings back a baked biscuit that had a roach cooked inside of the biscuit. Mm-hmm. And at the time, I was writing for the Observer, and I wrote about that. And because they was trying to say that Charles was interfering in that situation when it wasn't really a big deal, when it was. And so, You know, when you got so many roaches that the roach winds up being baked into a biscuit and given to a kid. Now, mind you, you say, well, whatever, but what if there has been your child and they gave your child a biscuit with a baked-in roach in it? You know, I mean, in the school system, clearly there's something wrong with that.
Hey, Troy, I know we get ready to go, but one thing that I want to make sure, you know, we're judged on how we treat our elderly, our children, and folks who can't do nothing for us. So I want to say this. I want to make sure when law enforcement are engaging our in-house people, have those body cams on and treat those folks with respect. Because if somebody come back and say you did this, we should be able to view it on that body camera. Number two, is it applies to reading and writing for our K through 5. I like to see some of these schools, high school and colleges. Back in the day, when I was in school, the seniors, the older folks would come over and help the kids read. I'm hoping that's still going on, not just at school, but it needs to be in the community. We should be hearing across, not just Fayetteville, Cumberland County, across America, where black kids are struggling. Somebody should be saying, "Hey, we offer these reading camps throughout the year. They just don't come. They should be available, and if folks don't come, they don't use it." But that's where we need to go as far as the African American community, because unfortunately, we're going to overrepresent that prison population.
That's true. Well, look, I got to get out of here. Thank you so much, DL, being with us. And for all of you out that tuned in with us today, 1600 AM, 99.7 on the Widu Radio Network. Going to get out of here and see can we go watch these youngsters, these fifth graders, get it on at Bill Hefner this morning. Also, our most able producer. Stick around. He's going to be coming back at the top of the hour. He's going to have the Bishop's Corner. And after that, you're going to have Heartbeat. And then at 11, you should have MP3. Great programming all day long. Don't go anywhere. You're at the right station at the right time. Okay, have a great day.